dark streets, cold nights, truths on the run. They make secrets, we're the ones who team up for fun. Headstones in the graveyard, where stories reside. We bring back headlines, no place to hide. Try to cover it, but we'll find no trace. Shadows and whispers, no escape from this place. Headstones and headlines, where the truth collides. We'll expose the lies, there's no way to hide. From the dirt to the brick, we'll make it clear. True crime uncovered, it's why we're here. The headline tells a tale of deceit. From the grave to the page, the truth reads. Cold cases, long leads, nothing gets by. We turn the stones, leave no questions why. You can run, but we're hard on the trail. Every secret's revealed, no matter how stale. There's stones and headlines, where the truth collides. We'll expose the lies, there's no way to hide. From the dirt to the brick, we'll make it clear. True crime uncovered, it's why we're here. In the dark of the night, we bring it to light. Every crime, every lie, every fight. No stone left unturned, no truth left unsaid. We write the headlines from the graves of the dead. Headstones and headlines, where the truth collides. We'll expose the lies, there's no way to hide. From the dirt to the brick, we'll make it clear. True crime uncovered, it's why we're here. Headstones and headlines, where the stories remain. We dig 'em up, we feel their pain. The truth is out, the case is closed, but our search for justice never.
Oh no, I was muted. Hey everyone. Happy Thursday. I can't believe the week is almost over, which means I'm that much closer to going back to work. Hey Sinner, thanks for being here. Karma, good to see you. Opal, thanks for being here. Lisa, I know it's almost a weekend, it's crazy. Hey Pookie, how are you? Bridget, good to see you. Hey Phoenix, how's it going? Did you finish your live? I absolutely loved your panel guest today. I don't know what it was, but I very much enjoyed his commentary. So thanks for being here. So I went into work today, first time, since it ended back in June. My classroom, we got air conditioning, which is amazing. we have control, or yeah, we have control or remotes. We can change the temperature, whatever. I'm not sure if they meant to leave mine in my room, but it's there. I got a new smart board. It looked good. I didn't do a whole lot, but I'm just glad that my room is in a good way. I got my desk put together. That's about it. But I'll be there next week. It can wait. It can wait. So today I have, let's see. I only had 8 stories. I added 2 more because as I was getting ready for the live, I saw more stories. So I have 10 total. We do have an update from Taylor Casey's mom. Not necessarily an update because Taylor is still missing, but she did talk to News Nation again last week, almost a week ago tomorrow. And the other stories I have are just random that I thought were interesting. And I did find one somewhat local to me that is completely appalling. Appalling. I did hide the remote center. Not only because I don't want them to come take it, but because I don't want the students to get it and end up ruining it or doing crazy stuff. So yeah, I definitely hid that. All right, so we're going to get started. Let me add this. There we go. So there is Taylor's mom. So for those of you who may not know who Taylor Casey is, she is a now 41-year-old woman who went missing in the Bahamas. She was at the Ashram Yoga Retreat training to become a yoga instructor. She was last seen on June 19th, 2024 at around 10:30 p.m. Her cell phone was located in the ocean about 50 feet deep. Although as we learned things, there's some discrepancies in my opinion. I do want to revisit her case at some point because it's been over 2 months and there's still no answers that we know of. I have not watched this interview with mom because I wanted to watch it with all of you. So I'm hoping, though, there is a reward, and I believe it's $10,000. I believe it's $10,000 reward for any information leading to Taylor's whereabouts. All right, so let me get on the right screen here.
But I would like to welcome back to the show Taylor Casey's mother, Colette Seymour. Colette, thank you so much for giving us some of your time again. I'm so sorry that Taylor has still not been found. She was reported missing in June. It's now been more than 2 months. When did you last speak to authorities there in the Bahamas? And what is the latest that they've told you?
Well, actually, from the Bahamas, we haven't had any updates. Whereas
And that's very interesting to me because when they had a news conference, not only to celebrate Taylor's birthday, but also to express their frustrations with the Bahamian government and police department, the Bahamian Royal Police had actually said they would have an update that Friday. Their conference was on a Thursday. The Bahamian Royal Police said that they would have an update on Friday. So with Miss Seymour saying they haven't gotten any updates, that's concerning.
asking for
I know,
updates and
Bridget.
how's the investigation going, and they really just haven't been in contact with us as of yet.
So, do you know what types of resources are being devoted to looking for Taylor? I mean, I know I said dogs, I said divers, drones, but do you have confirmation on any of that?
No, actually, I don't. Well, when we went there, well, after we got back, from the Bahamas. They did say they did the divers and the scent dog, you know, to track Taylor's steps and stuff. And they did drones, but we actually didn't get proof of it. Is what they told us though.
And you mentioned there,
Right. And they can say anything just to appease the family. I don't doubt that they didn't use the dogs and drones, things like that, the divers, especially the divers, because they were able to locate her phone. With that being said, the only reason they were able to find her phone 5 days later is because her niece was able to ping Taylor's last location using the Find My Phone app. So, and I believe it was 10:17 p.m. I'd have to look at my notes, and that notebook's on the other side of the room, but I'm pretty sure it was 10:17 p.m. was the last ping, or 10:27, one or the two. So if not for her niece, who knows how long it would have taken them to find Taylor's phone.
when you came back from the Bahamas, lay out the timeline. When did you go out to the Bahamas? When did you come back?
You're cutting out a little bit.
Can you
We went to the Bahamas
go ahead.
on the 26th, on the 26th of June, and we came back like 4 days later. Yeah.
Okay,
I can't remember
so
the time.
you came back sometime then at the end of June. It is now August 23rd. What has life been like for you?
Hey, Ava.
Miserable. Miserable. I'm distraught. I'm distressed. I can't sleep most nights, and yeah, just wondering. It's the not knowing for me.
Mm.
It's the not knowing, you know, what happened, where my child is. My child just vanished, and it's just the not knowing. I'm really distraught. I'm really distraught.
Have you received any direction, Colette, from U.S. authorities?
Well, the senators, they have been in contact with us, and we're asking them to, you know, light some fire under the Bahamas authorities so that they can give us briefings, give us updates, let us know the status of the investigation, how it's going, and things of that sort. And the senators, you know, offices have been really great about that. So I really appreciate them.
Are you confident Taylor will come home at some point?
I try to be as much as I can, but you know, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, but I believe in my heart. I don't have a feeling as a mother that my child is deceased. I believe my child is over there in the Bahamas, but we don't know where, you know, and we don't know what's going on with my child. Yeah, but I believe, yes, I'm staying confident that my child will come home.
You are holding out
Yes.
that hope. Colette, someone very likely knows something. Just some.
I totally agree with that. Just based on what we learned through Brian Etten being down there, the fact that the ashram yoga retreat hired legal representation and a spokesperson, someone knows something. And the sad thing about that is the person who may know something probably isn't at the retreat any longer, because these classes are, I believe, 6 weeks long, 4 weeks long. Again, I'd have to look back, but somebody knows something. And there was an alleged witness who gave a narrative that this man from Chicago, an African American man from Chicago, was asking Taylor about yoga, taking a yoga class. And this man followed Taylor into the retreat, and then Taylor went one way, the man went another. Turns out that narrative, the woman was mistaken. The woman was mistaken. And I feel that that woman needs to be spoken to again, because how do you mistake those types of details? Oh yeah, he had It was a black pant or black shirt, black shorts, and a Celtics cap. I mean, pretty detailed story, yet turns out she was mistaken. I call BS. Yeah, that too. People were coming and going nonstop. So, but somebody there, in my opinion, the night Taylor disappeared, knows something. Not necessarily saw something or did something, but they know something.
Something. What is your message to whomever may
Ex-
have any details on what happened to your child?
Exactly. I believe that someone knows something. We put out a reward for $10,000. You know, I pray that's enough, and I pray someone will come forth and just tell us something, give us any kind of leads or anything on to what happened to Taylor. And I also believe the ashram, the Sivananda yoga retreat, should be investigated.
Absolutely.
I think that should happen. And those students should be talked to. And yeah, there should be an investigation there.
Yeah.
Because I believe they know something. They know something. I had the feeling even when I was there that they know something that they're not telling us.
Yeah, and it's been 2 months, more than 2 months, that this mother has no idea what happened to her child. Colette Seymour, I thank you so much for giving us some of your time. I hope that the next time I speak with you, it will be to celebrate Taylor coming home. Thank you.
I hope and pray so too.
Me too, because something happened. So I did find an article, and this was back on July 5th. So about 3 weeks after Taylor had gone missing, or I will say had been last seen. And this says Taylor, quote, not taken from yoga retreat. So it says the Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat American Taylor Casey visited before she disappeared said she was not abducted from the site, and that evidence suggests she left the retreat voluntarily. Well, how do they know she wasn't abducted? How can they know that? And what evidence suggests that she left voluntarily? Considering her cell phone was found in the ocean, her journal was also found, I thought near the water, but some reports say that it was in the water. Her passport is still missing, and all of her belongings were left behind. The company said some of the claims by Miss Casey's family about what retreats are, quote, false and defamatory and not based on facts, end quote. The 41-year-old's disappearance was discovered on June 20th when she did not attend morning classes. She was last seen at the retreat late on the evening of June 19th. Her disappearance has attracted attention from the press in the United States, which has aired the claims of her relatives and friends. Her mother, Colette Seymour, told NBC the retreat company struggled to maintain a cohesive narrative regarding her daughter's disappearance and discouraged loved ones from talking to guests. NBC's story showed a photo of a tent taken by a relative of Miss Casey. And I don't know who took the photo, but her friend, Emily Williams, had stated that the staff of the ashram did not want them taking photos or video. And clearly she defied that request and did it anyways. Yeah, Bridget, it's not very good. I absolutely agree with that too, Bridget. The resort thinks about their reputation, don't want bad publicity. That will cost clients. Yep. So it says Peter Goody, CEO of PGHR Consulting, said in a statement to the Tribune yesterday on behalf of the retreat company, quote, "We are concerned that the story infers that Taylor Casey was abducted from the ashram. That is false and defamatory and not based on facts. The tent photo in the NBCU story taken by Miss Casey's family shows no signs of struggle. Her toothbrush and personal care products were in the tent in the photo, indicating she was going to return. Her passport, items of clothing, and purse were not in the tent photo, indicating she took them with her, along with her phone. Well, here's the thing. Usually when someone is abducted, they don't take their toothbrush and personal care products because they can't. So the fact that they're using that as a reasonable belief that she wasn't abducted is lame. It's lame. Good question, Lisa. How do they know she wasn't grabbed off site? Do they have video? I don't believe they have any surveillance video. And anyone can go on the property at any time. Brian Etten, in his one clip, he was talking to a woman on the beach, and he was asking about missing posters, if there were flyers posted about Taylor's disappearance, and she's like, "You can go up there. You can walk right in." That's what he did. So who knows who was on those premises at any given time? It's crazy. In summary, these facts, all of which are within the NBCU story, indicate Taylor left voluntarily. We also wish to point out that Taylor's phone pinged in the water as tracked on her niece's iPhone app. There was no indication from that evidence she was, quote, abducted, as you reported. A simple question to the family regarding the iPhone tracking as to her whereabouts would have been a prudent inquiry. The police found the phone based on that app. This is all public information. The beach in front of the ashram is a public beach. The photos in the NBCU story show the beach. There are non-guests and members of the public that walk along that beach daily. The statement Miss Casey's family and friends sent NBC claimed a retreat participant recalled that an unidentified man in a Celtics cap who claimed to be from Chicago approached Miss Casey and followed her onto the compound, expressing interest in yoga classes. And here's where I started to get a little aggravated. The retreat company said it followed up with the participant, and that person said they made a mistake identifying the man. Why didn't she tell that to the police? Why is she telling that to the retreat company? How do you mistake I mean, there is witness, usually witness testimony about what someone is wearing, things like that is not reliable. But if you're going to give those specific details, I would think you'd be right. The man is from Atlanta and was staying next door at the Atlantis Resort. He was simply taking a stroll on the beach and was interested in knowing more about our yoga classes. We often have inquiries about the yoga retreat from guests at the Atlantis. Atlanta and Chicago don't even sound alike. Right. Initially, it was a guy from Chicago wearing a Boston cap. Yes. And now the retreat is saying they followed up with this woman. Well, I should say participant. I don't know if it's a woman. This participant, and they said they were mistaken. Although I believe one of the articles did say it was a woman. It was a woman. The other individual described in your report was holding a walkie-talkie, and our best guess, so they don't know this for sure. They're just taking a guess. Our best guess is that he is a security guard for one of our neighbors. He entered the ashram at about 2 p.m., a time when our students were in class, and stayed for a couple of minutes and left. And this is where they're kind of, in my opinion, sugarcoating what was said, because initially they said that there was an unidentified man with a walkie-talkie who was walking around the premises, and when he saw the retreat staff, turned around and walked the other way. They don't know who that man was. Did they go to their neighbors and say, "Hey, can we talk to your security people? We think that one of them was on our premises." I doubt it. I doubt it. Mr. Goody said the retreat company spent hours with police as officers explained the full extent of their investigation to the family, allowing the family to see the space Miss Casey occupied and the beach where she had been. So they're saying, see, and this was another thing that confused me, because Miss Seymour, Taylor's mom, had mentioned in an interview that the phone was located off the dock. The dock is on the channel side, in which the depths of the channel are only about 40 feet. So when officials came out and said that her phone was found 56 feet deep, that made no sense, because it couldn't have been in the channel. It would mean it would have to be on the beach side. So there was very conflicting information in regard to that too. But this is saying, based on what the retreat is saying, they're saying that she was on the beach. The company claims it also spent hours answering the family's questions. So again, just being, yeah, Lisa, I knew you meant Chicago. It like skipped over a letter and changed a word. All right. So hopefully there will be information soon. I mean, that was just about a week ago. So 19th, 10 days. So yeah, like 2.5 months. And nothing. And I have Google updates. So every day I get an email with search results that have Taylor Casey or some related information, and there's just nothing. Yeah. So we definitely need to look at that again, just to kind of see, I still haven't worked on the timeline. I kept saying, the timeline is really bothering me. There's just a lot of questions that nobody has answers to. So this next story I saw yesterday about an Iceland cave collapse. Hadn't even heard anything. I thought this would, I always watch Agenda Free TV with Lookner. He always has a lot of these international stories, which I like. I didn't see this at all, and I thought people would be covering this, because yes, it's not in the States, but one died and 2 were missing. And actually, let me 1 second. I'm going to see if there's any updates, because like I said, this was from yesterday. So let me, Iceland cave collapse. Oh, CNN has a video. Okay, so I'm going to play this one, and then we're going to go to CNN.
One person has been killed and 2 others are missing following the collapse of a cave in Iceland. Drone footage shows emergency responders at the scene of the collapse.
Holy crap. Okay, so let me just back up, because oh my God, I wonder where the entrance is. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Of a cave in Iceland. Drone footage shows emergency.
Oh, I meant to pause it. So I'm guessing this looks like this part caved in as well. This caved in.
Shows emergency responders at the scene of the collapsed ice cave, where the tourists were exploring this past Sunday. They were part of a 25-member group from several countries who were in the natural cave located under a glacier. One person was declared dead soon after the incident occurred. Another was injured and taken to hospital in stable condition. Police say rescue crews continue an extensive and difficult search for 2 more believed to be trapped under the ice.
Já, við erum með nokkuð þokkalega skýra mynd af aðstæðum. Við fengum útkall þarna rétt fyrir klukkan 3 í dag og þar sem hafði hrunnið þarna við Íshelli. Þarna 25 manna hópur á ferð og við höfum, það virðist vera sem að 4 hafi lent undir ís. 2 þeirra eru komin undan ís sem mikið slasaðir og en við leitum enn að 2.
Og hvernig svona eru aðstæður þarna? Þetta erfitt, björgunarstarf erfitt þarna á þessum slóðum?
Já, þetta mjög, má segja mjög erfiðar björgunaraðstæður. Þetta náttúrulega.
I mean, I would say that's challenging. It's ice, which I'm assuming weighs a significant amount. Gosh.
Þarna upp í jökli. Erfitt að koma að tækjum þarna. Björgunarstörf eru náttúrulega bara meira meina gerða handafli og ísgröftur og ísbrot allt gert með handafli. Þannig að þetta mjög erfiðar aðstæður.
Crazy. Okay, so all right, CNN, what are we doing here? I don't want to sign up for whatever you're asking me to do. Okay. So this is from CNN, updated yesterday. And it says, it could have been us, American father and daughter recall horror of Iceland cave collapse. I mean, that's an amazing view. Are you freaking kidding me? I don't want to create an account. CNN, stop it. But I don't know if I'd want to go in an ice cave. And I'm curious, they may not know this, but I'm curious how thick the ice was above them. I mean, it's just bizarre. I mean, the landscape is absolutely stunning. But personally, I'll just watch it on TV. American tourist Scott Stevens and his daughter Wildy, 10, believe they were moments away from being killed in Iceland's cave collapse on Sunday. Stevens, visiting from Austin, Texas, was taking photos of his daughter in the, I'm not even going to attempt, Breda Merkojikul ice cave, and almost stayed a few extra minutes to take pictures with an additional lens. I was cognizant of the other group behind me and didn't want to hold everyone up because it's kind of a single file line. So I thought it would kind of be rude for me to make everyone stand there where I'm switching lenses. So I opted not to do so. And then we just walked out. About a minute after they left the cave, there was a loud boom and they heard the cave break. It felt like if you were to actually grab the, scratch that. That sentence is like all discombobulated for me. It felt like if you were to actually grab that other lens, then you'd 100% be dead right now. We'd be dead. We were standing in that exact spot. I'm trying not to. I don't want to think about it. Oh my gosh, there she is. Wild Stevens, 10, toward the ice cave before its collapse. I mean, again, I don't know how thick that ice is. I mean, it looks pretty thick, but I mean, and I'm curious how long. Let me just look up this ice cave. Oh, here we go. Arctic Adventures. The Crystal Blue Ice Caves. It says, tucked into the stunning south, surrounded by Iceland's iconic attractions, is Bradamerkjacal. This glacier outlet captures the frozen and ancient ice as it's released from the hold of Vatnajökull, Europe's largest glacier. As if the amazing glaciers weren't enough, they also form incredible ice caves. Learn more about this natural wonder. What link, Lisa? We have caves in the Netherlands too, but I won't go in them. Scary. You're from the Netherlands? I didn't know that, Bridget. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, I wouldn't go in either. To the CNN story? Sure. And just email me, Lisa, just because I may forget. Just email me and ask me to send you the CNN link. Okay, so they have the Blue Ice Cave and Glacier Hike Tour, Crystal Ice Cave Tour with super Jeep ride. So this is, I believe, the one. Let me see. Did they say which one they were at? It just says the Ice Cave. So there's a bunch, there's 4 different ones. I'm pretty sure it was the Crystal Ice Cave that they, so it's 2 to 3 hours. So it says it's an outlet glacier, Europe's largest. A glacier outlet is a tongue or flow of ice that extends from the cap, resembling a frozen river flowing out from the main ice mass. A simple analogy is to envision your hand where the palm represents the ice sheet and the fingers represent the outlet glaciers through which the ice flows. It is famous for the ice caves that have formed in its valley. These unique wonders showcase the incredible color spectrum that ice can create, from blues to blacks. The ice caves are incredibly beautiful and popular with visitors. However, they can also be dangerous. If you are hoping to visit, make sure you book a guided ice cave tour. God, that is gorgeous, but again, nope. Okay, so I'm just curious. I wanted to know how long. Oh my God, that's crazy. I'm curious how long it's actually been here. That's what I was hoping to find. Oh, here, FAQ. Let's see if the FAQ has anything. Can I drink alcohol? I mean, all right, that's not anything. Weird. I thought for sure they would say how long it's. Oh, here, about us. Let's see. Information. About us. So it looks like 1983. Maybe-ish. Oh, here, our history. Oh, so that is 1983 was the rafting. 1997 Arctic rafting. 2005 is the Arctic adventure. So not even 20 years. So where do they... Ice caves. That's all rafting. Arctic sea tours. Interesting. All right, I'll have to look at that later, but I was just curious how long they've been actually having these ice cave tours. So it says 1 American man was killed and an American woman was injured in the cave collapse. A group of 23 tourists from several countries were exploring the attraction located in the southeast of the country when the incident occurred. She was very concerned that I would have died taking her picture. I guess it felt like it could have very easily been us, Scott Stevens said about his daughter. And I was thinking of that poor guy. He's just here on his holiday, and I'm sure he thought he'd be going home today or tomorrow or the next day. And he's not going home. The elder Stevens said there were 2 separate groups visiting the cave. He was in the first group, and the deceased and injured were in the second. The groups traveled together, but each had about a dozen people with separate tour guides. When Scott Stevens heard the loud boom, he was talking to his group's tour guide. He kind of looked at me. I looked at him. We kind of had that that's not good look. Stevens and his guide ran down to the ravine to see what was happening and saw a woman in pain. I saw the woman with my own eyes. I knew she was hurt. The tour guides and a doctor who happened to be on the tour were assisting her. Stevens said his tour guide was distraught. He was in tears. He came back. He had blood on him, I think from the deceased gentleman. And the other tour guide was equally destroyed, traumatized beyond belief, both of them. Stevens said he later learned from the news that the American tourists were a couple. A U.S. State Department spokesperson confirmed the death of one U.S. citizen and the injury of another, saying they were, quote, ready to provide consular assistance. Ice caves are a popular destination for visitors to Iceland, an island nation in the North Atlantic that sits on the southern edge of the Arctic Circle. Glaciers cover about 11% of the country. Wow. So that was one story. Let me see. I just wanted to see if there was, that was the first one I saw. I wanted to see if there was any newer stories. Okay, 7 hours ago. Reminds me of those kids trapped in the cage. I don't know if I know what you're talking about, Bridget. They were trapped in a cage? Ice cave collapse in Iceland kills 1, 2 still missing. Oh. I guess it's a video.
I've been using this product. It's called Muesli. And
all right, we got to listen to this ad, unfortunately. Oh, in the cave. Gotcha. I don't know. I get scared with all of that stuff, even coal miners and just such dangerous work. Dangerous work. Hey, Heather, how are you?
Again. Go to muesli.com/TV.
Okay, that's not a video. So ABC News yeah, ABC News needs to.
President Biden is.
That has nothing to do with the ice collapse. Oh, that's weird. So ABC says, so that was 7 hours ago, ice cave collapse in Iceland kills 1, 2 still missing. But then CTV News is saying police in Iceland call off search at ice cave collapse that killed 1 man, saying no one is missing. What? So is someone missing or not? So it says Icelandic police on Monday called off the search for anyone trapped in the previous day's collapse of an ice cave that killed 1 person and injured another, saying that all members of the tourist expedition had been accounted for. Authorities had initially mounted a large-scale rescue operation with as many as 200 rescuers sifting through the icy rubble by hand to find 2 people believed to have missing. So that makes sense, though, now that I think about it. The first video we watched said that the group was 25 people, but now they're saying it was 23. So possibly they thought 2 were missing. I don't know, it's just very bizarre to me. But police eventually determined that no one was unaccounted for after examining the tour operator's records and finding that only 23 people were on the Ice Cave tour, not 25 as was first believed. Okay, so that's what I had just said. Even so, rescuers continued the search until all of the collapsed ice had been moved to be sure that no one had been left behind. That is admirable, I will say. The police field manager located at the scene announced that all the ice that was thought to have fallen on the people had been moved. It has come to light that no one was hidden under the ice. The rescue operation began around 3 p.m. local time on Sunday when authorities received reports that an ice cave had collapsed. 1 man died at the scene and a woman was transported to the hospital by helicopter. Both victims are American citizens. The search, which was suspended overnight when conditions made it too dangerous, had resumed at about 7 a.m. Video showed rescuers working inside 2 large craters surrounded by the sand-blackened ice of the glacier. But by the end of the day, they were satisfied that no one else was missing. Police said there had been misleading information about the number of people on the trip. The Association of Icelandic Mountain Guides called for a full investigation and tighter regulations on ice cave tours. Glacier trips during the warmer summer months can be very dangerous. But this is winter for Iceland, right? This is winter? The tourism agency is working on a report for the government to discuss regulations regarding trips on the glaciers and especially ice cave tours. The Minister of Tourism, Lilja Elfrinsdottir, said the matter will be discussed in Parliament. Ice caves are a popular destination for visitors to Iceland, with tour operators offering customers the chance to, quote, explore the inside of glaciers and see the blue color and stunning patterns in the ice. It says, moving rescue equipment and personnel up to the glacier was difficult due to the rugged terrain, and rescuers had to cut through the ice using chainsaws. That's wild. All right, so sadly, one person did lose their life. Sad, really sad. Yeah. Iceland is Europe, so okay, so July. Oh, so it is summer. So what? Wait a minute, because hold on. The website for these Arctic adventures had said and of course now I can't find the thing, but it had certain months, and that's insane. Why would you go in summer? I mean, I guess if people, that's probably when people have time off, but I was assuming it was winter there, and that's why they were going in, because the woman had said it's dangerous to go during summer months, but it was a summer month. All right. Scary. And it's, like I said, very sad. So this next story is somewhat local to me, and this appalled me. So 2 people have now been arrested in a baseball bat assault of a man and his son who bought a pair of $220-some sneakers at Dick's House of Sports. And I believe this was in Colony, which is like Albany, New York. It's just like east of it. Well, actually north of it. this was
Colony police telling us they could soon make more arrests in the case of a father and son who were physically.
So these are the sneakers, White Thunder. And I know some people, this is a completely random story, but it just came to my mind. So a few years ago, I worked with this guy, and I overheard him talking to his friends that they would order sneakers. They would order these expensive sneakers and then call the company to say that they never received them so that they could get another pair. Because you could sell them for a lot of money. And I was like, what? A skis ball. What is skis ball? And these are called White Thunder 4s. That's what it was. They're Jordans. Personally, I would never pay that much money for sneakers, ever.
Physically attacked with baseball bats at Dick's House of Sport. That attack over this pair of shoes.
Violent attack right in Latham. Well,
and here's the thing. These kids, because they looked young, like maybe like late teens, early 20s, they wanted a pair of sneakers, so they beat these people up. Well, guess what? Now you're not going to get your sneakers because you're going to jail.
Teenager has already been arrested, a 19-year-old, and police are looking for 4 other suspects in this.
Wow.
News Channel 13's Tessa Bentulin is live right outside the store with the very latest details. Tessa, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Sabrina and Mark. Well, this all happened just a couple of days before school is supposed to start. A lot of people back to school shopping, including here at Dick's House of Sports. And we're also learning how the family is doing after that assault.
And this is it's called Colony Center. It's like a big mall.
A father and son have lots of bumps and bruises after they were attacked at Dick's House of Sport in Colony. But police say they are okay, all things considered. Police say it was all because the 5 suspects saw the family buy these brand new shoes.
So they probably, and again, I'm just assuming, these 5 kids, teens, or whatever, criminals, they were probably wandering around the store waiting to see if someone was going to buy these sneakers, so then they could attack them in order to get them. I mean, don't they have something else to do? Hey, Bushi, how are you? Yeah, Senator, people are skeezy. I couldn't believe he was telling people that. I'm like, it's not something to brag about. It's like you're breaking the law and just being shady.
The Nike Air Jordan 4 White Thunder. They retail at $215 and were released the same day as the assault.
Limited release items or merchandise that's highly sought after in general can invite trouble at times.
Colony Police Lieutenant Anthony Sidoti says there is surveillance video of the incident and the camera is aimed directly at the scene.
Good.
Because of that footage and eyewitness accounts, police expect to make more arrests very soon. Only one of the 5 suspects was found on scene. 19-year-old Kyle Folks was charged with.
Kyle Folks. You know what? Let's look up Kyle in the New York. I don't know if he's going to be in the court records, but let's look up Kyle and see what we can find about this guy. Kyle Folk. He may not be in yet, but I'm assuming he will be, because I think this was today, actually. The story came out today, and I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about this because... Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Crap. Although it might not be, it might be in Albany. Let me see, Albany County. I'm wondering if he has a record. Oh, here we go, Albany County. Start searching. Oh, here we go. So Folk Kyle. Nope, nothing in there yet. I mean, this poor guy, he got caught on the scene. His buddies all got away. Yeah, I don't get the violence either. Like over shoes. It's so dumb. I mean, what are they going to sell them for on the street? I just looked up these sneakers online. And let me just double check the date. Oh yeah, today. So it happened, obviously not today, a few days ago. But I just looked up these sneakers online. So 253, this Stock X, Fight Club 219, 245, eBay 149.99. Who knows if they're real or not. I mean, it's bizarre. Oh, here at Nike, you can buy them for $215. Oh, they're out of stock. See, that's why. They're probably going to be worth more because they don't make a lot of them. Oh, shoot. Oh, that's why, because I changed the date.
They could soon make more arrests.
Hang on a second. Let me go back to, here we go. Yeah, that's true. Stock X verifies the shoes before you get them. That's good. Hey, Burden, what's going on? What? Burden of proof? You got to email me that article. I did not see that. The elementary school teacher and her nude boyfriend? What? Hey, True Texan, how are you? Long time no see. Oh, really? Some sneakers are a lot. Thanks for being here, Marie. My bestie's son would find good deals and resell them for hundreds and more. Yeah, it's just, for me, it's like, I don't know. I'm not, growing up, we couldn't afford like the really, what everybody wanted. And I remember it must have been 6th or 7th grade. I had a pair of Pumas, which apparently are like pretty good sneakers these days. And kids would say to me, "Oh my God, look at your sneakers." Because Nike, well, actually, Asics and Diadora. Diadora was the sneaker to have when I was a kid. Diadora and Asics. And then I had Pumas. And then it was Nikes. And there's always this, I only do Skechers now. And I will not pay more than $60 for sneakers. No way. Oh, wrong.
5 suspects was found on scene. 19-year-old Kyle Folks was charged with assault, robbery, and criminal possession of a weapon.
It really paints a picture of exactly what happened in there and helps us understand how things transpired.
Lieutenant Sidoti says the alleged attackers saw the father and son buy the Air Jordans at the register this past Saturday, August 24th. As they tried to walk out of this exit, the suspect grabbed these baseball bats off the racks and started hitting them.
Well, there have been larcenies there before, but this was a pretty violent and random encounter. So in my experience with the County Police Department, I have not seen anything like this before, and it's pretty shocking to all of us.
Dick's House of Sport declined to comment, deferring all questions to Colony Police.
What about the baseball bats at the front of the store? Have you asked the business to maybe move them somewhere else?
That's something we're going to look into going forward. There are a lot of lessons that are going to be learned here, and that is certainly something I think we should consider.
Lieutenant Sidoti says Colony Police do plan to release that surveillance video at a later date. Reporting live here in Colony for News Channel 13, I'm Tessa Bentulin, Mark, and Sabrina.
Okay, so I just did a Google search for this Kyle Folks, and I was spelling his name the way it sounds. And this was back in January 2024. And I just have to double check because I'm pretty sure this is the same kid. Let me just zoom in on this bud. Oops. Let me go back. Oops, wrong one. I just want to look at his other picture. Ah, this is the same dude. Same dude. Same dude. Yep. Same kid. Same kid. So let's see what he did back in January, like 7 months ago. Oh, look, they had weapons. So it says 3 men were arrested in connection with the Tuesday afternoon standoff in Waterville. The Waterville Police Department arrested Kazian Payne, Kyle Folks, and Gotti Jones for the unlawful possession of a handgun and a 30-round magazine. At around 1 p.m. Tuesday, Waterville police officers responded to reports of a shooting in the area of 23rd Street and 2nd Avenue. Police said shortly after the incident, Payne, Folks, and Jones were located several blocks away in possession of an illegal gun. Payne faces additional charges for discharging the firearm during the incident. Payne was charged with felony second-degree criminal possession, third-degree criminal possession, and first-degree reckless endangerment. Folks and Jones were both charged with felony second-degree criminal possession of a weapon and third-degree criminal possession of a weapon. Police said Jones was released from custody for the same charges resulting from an April 2023 arrest in Colony at the time of this incident. What? Yes, Lisa, that's what I'm saying. Those other 2 are probably part of this group of 5. Hey, Christina, how are you? All 3 defendants were arraigned in Waterville City Court and remanded to the Albany County Jail. They are expected to be released from custody soon. Well, guess what? They must have been released because they committed more crimes. The arrests were the result of an investigation by the Colony, Menandscahos, and Green Island Police Departments. And Waterville is north of Albany, not very far. So that's why I couldn't find this guy in the court records, because I was spelling his name wrong. But I don't know. None of the things I'm finding are actually criminal records, so I'll have to look later. But it seems like this kid has clearly he has a record. Yeah, because all of the, oh wait, criminal case number. Here we go. Kyle Folks Jr., view. Let's see if they say. Doesn't say what for though. No images available. Great. All right, let me write down this guy's name. I'm gonna look him up. Folks. Let me see. Maybe there's another story about this kid. All right, what's going on, computer? All right, 3 arrested. There's that. Okay, so it looks like that's the only story with this kid's name in it. But again, he could have been a minor, and that's why the other stuff isn't really showing up. Interesting. Interesting. Kyle. Tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk. All right, so let me go back here. So this is another story I saw right before coming live. And this is so disturbing. I'm so tired of hearing about these parents who are treating their children like they're not children. This was a 13-year-old who was being held in a cell, well, a makeshift cell for at least 24 hours. Police don't know if it's happened before. I can guarantee it probably has. And so the parents are now arrested because they chose to do this to their son. Bridget, that I don't know. I don't know why they did what they did. I'm assuming I don't know. But I wrote his name down. I'm going to look more into his criminal history. That Kyle.
Disturbing allegations out of Kearns tonight. Two parents accused of locking up their 13-year-old son in makeshift cells for more than a month at a time. News specialist Mike Anderson.
Wait a minute. So this is there was two different videos. The one I watched said 24 hours. This is saying that they had him in this makeshift cell for more than a month at a time.
News specialist Mike Anderson talked with neighbors and police. Mike, this is a pretty harrowing case here.
Yeah, Unified Police say this is an especially difficult one and that parents told them they didn't see anything wrong with what they were doing. Now, among other things, they're trying to determine how long this has been going on.
At least one neighbor here along 4865 South said she had suspicions and concerns.
He would disappear.
She asked not to be identified, but says the 13-year-old boy wouldn't be seen for days.
And then he would come out and you could see that something wasn't right. He was pale. He was kind of disoriented.
Unified Police say they got a call for a welfare check at the home on August 19th, finding multiple makeshift cells inside and that the boy had been locked in one for 24 hours. Unified Police Sergeant Amy Race says they see some difficult cases, but
This is definitely one.
I mean, thank goodness someone called in a welfare check for this home, I would assume for the little boy. I mean, people are so, like, if you don't want kids, don't have them.
One that stands out, and it is concerning that a child was held in this situation.
according to arresting documents, the boy was at times spanked and he would be kept in a larger cell under a loft bed for about a month at a time, only being allowed to leave to eat and go to the bathroom.
It goes to show that even though you may have doubts, please call us or DCFS and report these incidents.
And police say the father is 49-year-old Travis Peterson, the stepmother, 41-year-old Melissa Gray. And according to arrest records, Peterson told officers he was worried he could be fired from his job if arrested.
Wow. Oh, not worried about his son. He's worried about, oh, I'm going to be fired if I get arrested. Well, don't do dumb shit like abusing your son. Wow. I'm going to try to find a different video too to see if there's any.
Because he works in healthcare. Mike Anderson, Live at 5.
And he works in healthcare. Go figure. Oh, here's one. This one is from. This is the one I watched earlier. This might be the one they talked to the neighbor.
I was an investigator in this unit for a little over 6 years. These cases always hit home.
Sergeant Amy Race is with the Unified Police Department.
We always walk in as investigators thinking, like, is this how a child should be raised? And keeping them behind makeshift cells is not the way children should be raised.
Sergeant Race is referring to what took place inside this Kearns home. On Tuesday, 49-year-old Travis Peterson and 42-year-old Melissa Gray were both arrested on one count of aggravated child abuse. Gray also faces an additional charge of child abuse with injury. Court documents show police were called to the home at 4574 West, 4865 South to investigate a child abuse case. When officers arrived, they observed a 13-year-old boy in the hallway of the home.
So it says, in an alcove looking like a closet under the stairs, with gates affixed to the walls and locked with a padlock from the outside, so EP was unable to get out. like, clearly they had to install the gates to the wall.
They describe where they found him as an alcove, looking like a closet under the stairs, with gates attached to the walls and locked with a padlock from the outside. Sergeant Ray says the parents explained why.
They relayed that they were afraid that the child would not only harm their dog, but the adults in the home.
Investigators say the boy had been locked in a makeshift cell for approximately 24 hours around the clock after being disciplined by Gray, his stepmother.
Detectives have learned through this investigation process that the child was being fed 2 times a day and then unfortunately only let out of this cell 3 times a day to use the restroom.
The probable cause.
Oh my God, I cannot. So he ate twice a day and he was allowed out 3 times a day to use the restroom. I'm not sure about anyone else, but 3 times isn't very many. And I saw a comment, where did it go? Oh, here. There are so many good people who can't have kids, right? So even if, you know, it wasn't planned, there are other options. That poor kid. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, and I don't know, this happened in Utah, so I'm not sure the laws in Utah, but hopefully, you know, they do a good amount of time. Good point, Lisa. 1 count each is BS. They should have 1 count for every day that child spent in the cage. Yeah. And every day that they made that little boy stay in the cage, let them stay in a cell for that many days. And let them, you know, well, they get a toilet in their cell, so you can't really regulate when they can use the bathroom, but only give them 2 meals a day. Oh, Pookie accident. Okay. Hey, Arctic Fox, how are you? Good to see you. That's a cute name, Scrapper. Scrapper reminds me of the cartoon Heathcliff. And there was, oh my gosh, what was the other cat's name? He was black and white. That's what I think of when I think of a Scrapper. Oh, shoot. Wrong window. My bad.
Statement also stated investigators were told the boy's 22-year-old brother had also been locked up when he was younger. It went on to say both Peterson.
Wait, let me just back that up because information was relayed to me that EP's 22-year-old brother had been locked up when he was younger by his father. Oh my God.
It went on to say both Peterson and Gray told police they did not believe anything was wrong with putting the boy in the cell.
What? I don't believe that for a second. Because the dad said he didn't want to get arrested because he didn't want to be fired from his job, which was in the healthcare field. I don't know what he did in healthcare, but just common sense tells someone that locking someone up in a cell, like they're in prison when they're not in prison, is wrong. And even prisoners get an hour outside of their cell.
Fox 13 News spoke with Lorianne Thorpe,
Hey,
the executive director of Prevent Child Abuse Utah. She sent us a statement saying, in part, that incidents like this one underline how important it is to prevent abuse from ever happening in the first place. Thorpe went on to say research shows that children who experience abuse may have lifelong negative health and well-being consequences.
It's always important to.
I'm curious how EP's brother is faring, because now being 22, and I'm curious, how old was the brother when this happened, and how long did it happen? Like, somehow the 22-year-old was able to get away from his parents. I mean, he probably could fight back at that point too, I would think. Just, it's awful.
Call in and report these things. If you have concerns, if you see something, say something. It's a very old saying, but it's very true.
Yeah, I agree. You see something, say something. Absolutely. So this next story, this might be the last thing we look at. Well, maybe a couple more. This one I initially saw yesterday. A worker was found deceased at their desk at Wells Fargo. And I thought, oh my God, they must have had like a heart attack, or they had something happened and they died at work. Oh no. They died at their desk, but the person had been there for 4 days. 4 days. I don't know how big the office is, but I would assume that, people, you see people, I used to work for New York State before I became a teacher. And we had an office, we had about 40 people, give or take. I knew who all of them were. I didn't see them all every day, but everybody had like their own little group that they associated with. So how would you not? I don't know how this person was there for 4 days and no one noticed.
A Tempe Wells Fargo employee died at her desk. And 12 News is now confirming that it may have taken as many as 4 days for anyone in the office to notice. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. It's a story we first reported yesterday. Tonight, Tempe police are confirming the timeline of when the woman clocked in to when her colleagues found the body.
And so her colleagues did find her. It's so bizarre to me. So bizarre.
News journalist Gabriela Becerra is in the studio with new details tonight. Gabby, 4 days. I mean, this poor woman went 4 days undiscovered. It's hard to believe.
And that's a question many employees are asking themselves tonight. I spoke with an employee who said that she shared her perspective on the workplace environment, and they say it's a big building, but most people don't work there on a daily basis. A Wells Fargo employee went to work the morning of Friday, August 16th, and never went home. Tempe police tell 12 News 60-year-old Denise Prudhomme scanned into work at 7 o'clock in the morning. 4 days later, police responded to the office building near Washington Street and Priest Drive for reports of a subject down. Prudhomme was declared dead. The Tempe Police Criminal Investigation Bureau is investigating, but do not suspect foul play. A Wells Fargo employee exclusively spoke with 12 News, but asked not to be recorded or identified out of fear for their job. They say
and I mean, that's sad too, that they can't talk to the media without being afraid to lose their job. And I think of, you have the custodial staff that come in usually, once at least, well, even at school, we have the janitorial staff or the custodial staff come in, after everybody leaves and does the night cleaning. I'm sure this person had a trash bin in their cubicle or office or whatever it may be, and no one saw this person, this woman. I mean, yeah, like how sad, Lisa? I don't understand it.
Colleague found Prudhomme dead at her desk in a cubicle while walking around the building on Tuesday, August 20th. Prudhomme's cubicle was reportedly on the 3rd floor and away from the main aisle. This employee says several people had smelled a foul odor, but passed it.
There you go. There you go, Lisa. There you go. They probably only noticed when she started to smell bad, which is sad. They smell a foul odor. I cannot even fathom.
It off as faulty plumbing. They say while most
Oh my gosh. Faulty plumbing.
Wells Fargo employees at this Tempe location work remote, the building has 24/7 security, and someone should have found Prudhomme sooner.
I
The
agree.
incident left several employees feeling scared and uneasy. This employee wants to see new safety protocols in place, telling me, quote, "It's negligence in some part."
I agree. I don't know how payroll works because I'm not HR. I don't clock in, I don't clock out. I just go and then I leave. But if she clocked in and never clocked out or in again, I would think someone would notice. I remember in high school, so this was, 30 years ago, I worked at McDonald's. And sometimes I would forget to clock in because I would go after school to work and I was in a hurry. I forget to clock in. My manager would come and say, "Hey, Emmy, you forgot to clock in. I need you to clock in." Because at the end of the night, they would print reports of when you clocked in, when you clocked out. Because sometimes, say your shift, was only 4 to 7, but they asked you to stay an hour later, they would have that on this printout. So if she had to clock in, like use a time clock, I just assume that someone would see that she never clocked out.
A different worker also spoke with 12 News anonymously.
Was just uncomfortable.
Again, calling on the company to do more.
Body was there about 4 days before anybody found it, before anybody walked up to her and just to say hi, make sure she's okay. She was just laying on her desk.
A Wells Fargo spokesperson previously sent 12 News a statement saying, in part, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic loss of our colleague at our Tempe office," adding counselors through our employee assistance consulting service are available to support employees. An employee tells me their direct management offered those services, addressed the incident, and told workers the building was thoroughly cleaned.
Well, clearly
And a Wells
not.
Fargo spokesperson did not have new information to share with me.
Clearly not. Clearly it was not thoroughly cleaned. Because if it was, someone would have noticed. And even, I think about the custodial staff. I know, a lot of people work late. They work, in offices, things like that. Maybe they were sleeping. Will you still kind of go, "Hey, like, are you going home tonight?" Hey, Tessa, how are you? Oh, shoot.
Was thoroughly cleaned. And a Wells Fargo spokesperson did not have new information to share with me tonight. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner is investigating the cause of death. In studio, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you.
Unreal. Unreal. So I did find, I also have, this is from NBC News. It was updated today at 4 Eastern, so about 2 hours ago. Officials probe death of Wells Fargo employee found dead in her cubicle 4 days after last scanning into work. Denise Prudhomme, 60, was found dead on August 20th inside her Tempe office. Police say the preliminary investigation shows no signs of foul play. A 60-year-old Arizona Wells Fargo employee scanned into her office on a Friday in what appeared to be an ordinary workday. Then, 4 days later, she was found dead in her cubicle. Denise Prudhomme, 60, was found dead on August 20th. Oh, they just said that. She had last scanned in the building at 7 a.m. on Friday, August 16th, and there was no further scan in or out of the office, authorities said. Tempe police responded to the Wells Fargo office in the 1100 block of West Washington Street after on-site security called about an employee they believed to be dead. Officers responded, and she was pronounced dead at 4:55 p.m. The cause of death is pending determination by the Maricopa County Medical Examiner. However, police said the preliminary investigation showed no obvious signs of foul play. The investigation is ongoing. It's not clear how Prudhomme had gone unnoticed for so long. NBC affiliate KPNX of Mesa, Arizona, reported she worked in a cubicle that was on the 3rd floor, away from the main aisle. An employee who spoke with KPNX on the condition of anonymity said a colleague found her at her desk while walking around the building and that several people had smelled a foul odor, but believed it to be faulty plumbing. Wells Fargo confirmed she sat in an underpopulated area of the building. That is not an excuse, Wells Fargo. That is not an excuse. So then they have, so they told NBC News, we are deeply saddened by the loss of our colleague, Denise Prudhomme. Our thoughts are with her family and loved ones, and we are in contact to ensure they are well supported during this difficult time. The financial services company said it is committed to the safety and wellness of our workforce, and it is reviewing our own internal procedures after this event. Counselors have been made available to support employees. Prudhomme's fellow employees were notified of her passing after the company notified her family. So I was wondering if she had family. And again, they may not be close. I just know my family, like we text, we don't text a lot, but if I wasn't to respond for some time, my family would start to worry. I remember when I first started going live, I fell asleep before a live. I fell asleep. I was supposed to go live and I fell asleep. My niece was trying to call me. I know Sinner was trying to get a hold of me. Nobody could get a hold of me because I was asleep. My sister came to my house, knocked on the door, and that's when I woke up. I had completely fallen asleep. So I don't know her family, situation, but work-wise, how did they not? This poor woman. And I wanted to see, I don't think it seems like a lot of the news outlets only picked this up in the last day. So, yeah, I'm looking at news stories. They're it's like only like not even a day ago. So, ooh, Florida to Ohio, Tessa. Trying to fit everything in your car. When I lived in Wichita, Kansas, because I went to Wichita State, and I would move back and forth with my car. I'd fit it in there. I did have family close by, so I did keep a few things at their house, but I know when I moved back east, I had to leave a lot of stuff there. I just put it out and let other people take it because it didn't fit in my car. That poor woman. I know, Tessa. And I do have a good story at the end. I do have a really good story at the end. I promise. I want to always end on a good note. I worked at a locked river dock, and we would read the key lock to see if anyone was behind when we secured the place at night. Yeah, and I just feel like, did this woman not have anyone who she talked to? Or, I just think, even at school, I know all of my coworkers, but I have like my little circle that I hang out with, like, that they would always come in and say good morning, or I would go over there and say good morning, or we'd see each other in the hall. Did this woman not have anyone who went to check on her or say good morning? Like, I don't know. It just really bothers me. It really bothers me. This next story I also saw this morning, and this one made me very angry. And when we get to that part in the clip, I will share my thoughts. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, though, Tessa. Your best friend since first grade is terminal, so we're going to have some fun. Have lots of fun. But I'm sorry to hear that. That's really sad. Outrage. And so this is victims outraged over early prison release of Southern California road rage driver. And when they say early release, it's a way too early release.
And fear tonight after a notorious road rage convict is released from prison after serving only a fraction of his sentence.
His victims spoke up today to say they have lost their faith in the justice system. Chris Wolf, live from the news center with reaction to the controversial news. Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Micah and Cher. Reports say he has a long criminal history spanning nearly 2 decades and stretching across 8 different states. But credit for time served and good behavior means he gets out of prison early.
Hold on a minute. I missed that earlier when I watched this. Over 8 states? Is that what they said?
To the controversial news, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Micah and Cher. Reports say he has a long criminal history spanning nearly 2 decades and stretching across 8 different states. But credit for time served and good behavior means he gets out of prison early here in California. Victims of his violent road rage are now furious, and they fear he may try to hurt them again.
Hey Siri, call 9. And this is insane. This guy, I don't know what would cause someone to want to do what this man does, but he doesn't just do it once. He does it several times to different cars. He's a maniac.
You may remember the viral road rage clips. A muscular young man in t-shirt and jeans exploding on the freeways of Southern California, jumping out of his car and smashing others with what appears to be a pipe. The violence caught on dashboard and
here he's chasing after cars. I mean, this guy is a menace.
Cell phone cameras. 36-year-old Nathaniel Radamak was finally caught and convicted of criminal threats, vandalism, assault, and elder abuse. Nicknamed the Tesla road rage driver, a judge sentenced Radamak in October 2023 to 5 years in prison. But in a surprising turn of events, he is now free 10 months later.
10 months. 10 months.
I am worried he will try to find the victim.
So he was sentenced. Let me just back that up.
He is now free 10 months later.
Ooh,
I am worried.
Judge sentenced Radamak in October 2023 to 5 years in prison. But
so he was sentenced to 5 years, but he served 10 months because of time credited, whatever, and good behavior. This guy has a long list of criminal behavior in several states. He's only 36. 10 months for what he did. I know. It's freaking unreal. I agree, Lisa. They need to take him to court. 10 months. And Lisa, that's what the victims are concerned with, because their names were released to the public.
But in a surprising turn of events, he is now free 10 months later.
I am worried he will try to find the victims whose names have been released. He is a menace to society, and I strongly disagree about his early release.
Victims spoke out during a news conference with their attorney, Gloria Allred. They do not want to be identified.
I'm here today to share with you my deep frustration and loss of faith in our justice system.
Court records show Radamak was given credit for time served and good behavior. Attorney Allred sees a major red flag with his release notice.
It says that the
Oh, look at this. He has on his, this looks like Instagram or maybe TikTok. Your mom's lover.
Major red flag with his release notice.
It says that the community to which he is being released is unknown. So my question is, how can they supervise his parole?
Exactly.
If they don't know where he's going to be?
The communication with the DA's office has been poor throughout this process. His sentence was cut short.
Lenient sentencing and closing jails and early parole releases and parole boards continue to allow perpetrators to walk free after serving just minimal time.
Yeah.
Putting a lot of innocent people at risk and sending criminals the wrong message.
The district attorney's office sent us a statement, quote, "Our thoughts are with the survivors who endured the terrifying attacks by Mr. Radamak and are continuing to heal from his senseless actions." The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office does not determine when an inmate will be released from custody. This, as well as the notification of victims, is the responsibility of the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Attorney Gloria Allred says this Tesla road rage case demonstrates the need for truth in sentencing laws.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you, Burden. This does not bode well for the current DA who is up for re-election this November. But like 10 months, I just did the math. It's 16.67% of his sentence. Not even 20%. Not even half. And this guy, being a previously convicted person, should have gotten more than 10 months. He's going to do it again because he clearly has anger management issues. He doesn't know how to use his words or have coping skills for his anger or frustration. It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, so we're going to do one more story. Actually, let me see. Let me see how many I have left. Oh, not many. All right, we're going to go through as many as we can. I only have 4 left. And I don't think, like, the beginning ones I was really, then again, you never know. This one was from a little bit ago. Let's see, August 16th. So about 2 weeks ago. And this was titled, "Man Throws Teen on the Floor for Accidentally Splashing Water on His Wife." So I'm not sure how someone would react so viciously after an accident. Again, someone who doesn't know how to use their words or seemingly doesn't have healthy coping skills. But to throw a teen on the floor for an accident, I mean, these people need to, like, take a deep breath.
Now to a topic that has caused a controversy debate across the internet. When is it and if it's okay to discipline someone else's child? Let's take a look at this.
Jerome, bro.
Holy crap. Okay, so I didn't watch this video. Holy crap. Dude. Oh, I'm on full screen. Like, really? So the kid accidentally spills water.
Take a look at this.
So the kid must have spilled water accidentally. This guy gets up, starts.
Oh, bro.
He had him by the neck and just threw him. Thank goodness it was on video, because this guy, I'm going to look up his name because now I want to know more about this story. What a jerk, right? Lisa throws, that was like, he picked him up from his neck and threw him. Like,
Jerome.
Oh, you don't treat a lady that way. Say sorry.
What a douchebag.
Now, the man seen in that video, you're looking at him right here, 55-year-old Lucas Kalisher, who is now facing felony assault charges for throwing that 15-year-old boy on the floor in Loveland, Colorado. According to cops, this all happened because a teenager accidentally threw water on Kalisher's wife.
Wait, so that guy just said he accidentally threw water. Like, throwing water sounds deliberately. Like, deliberate. Okay, so let me go back. So it happened at an In-N-Out. So here's an article. It says, man accused of strangling 15-year-old over horseplay with friends. Okay, so the kids were acting like kids, and the water ended up getting on this man's wife. So this was August 19th, so about a week and a half ago. A Colorado man is facing assault and other charges for allegedly strangling a 15-year-old boy goofing off at an In-N-Out restaurant. Police say the 15-year-old victim and his friends were splashing each other with water about 1 a.m. August 4th at an In-N-Out in Loveland. The friends accidentally splashed water on a woman sitting nearby. The 15-year-old approached the woman's table to apologize when a man accompanying her allegedly assaulted the teen. Police say the suspect, quote, suddenly grabbed him, the victim, placed both hands around the front and back of his neck, pulled him down to the table, and threw him backward onto the floor. The man and woman then left the restaurant. Through their investigation, police identified the suspect as 55-year-old Lucas Kalisher. They obtained a warrant for his arrest Tuesday, and Kalisher surrendered to the Larimer County Jail later the same day. Kalisher faces charges of second-degree assault involving strangulation and child abuse. Court records show his bail was set at $75,000. An In-N-Out Burger spokesperson told the AP in an email that it is aware of the incident and has fully supported and cooperated with law enforcement during their investigation. Like, this guy needs, I don't even know what he needs. Yeah, it's assault. And the kid went to apologize, and instead of, and you can hear the guy saying, "Say sorry." And the kid must have said something like, "I was trying to," and he's like, "Do it now." Like, who are you? Who are you? I know. Freaking, I mean, he needs some coping skills. That is true. Allegedly, there's video. Exactly. He did it. He did it. And I don't know. It says Dominique something. So someone was video. I'm sure they were too. I'm guessing his friends were. I'm guessing these are his friends. I don't know. I'm going to show that again. I know it's violent, but this dude
right here, 55-year-old Lucas Kalisher, who is...
I hope this guy doesn't have kids. And maybe that is rude to say, but if he's going to treat some kid who was horse playing and just messing around with his kids at 1 a.m. and accidentally got water on his wife, it's not like they went and poured a glass of water on her head on purpose. It was because they were goofing around.
Now facing felony assault charges for throwing that 15-year-old boy on the floor in Loveland, Colorado. According to cops, this all happened because a teenager accidentally threw water on Kalisher's wife. We have with us here fathers Jay Bradley and Patrick Jones to talk about this. So your thoughts about this, and when they say you're disciplining someone, that wasn't disciplining. That was like someone that...
Ooh, and I'm not going to go into all this, but I found this article from People Magazine, and I don't normally use People Magazine, but apparently this guy is a CEO. This was August 14th. CEO arrested after allegedly strangling 15-year-old at In-N-Out Burger after teen splashed woman with water. Luke N. Kalisher was charged with child abuse and assault in the second degree. The CEO of a private equity firm in Colorado was arrested for allegedly strangling a teenager who splashed a woman with water at an In-N-Out restaurant. Kalisher, 55, was taken into custody by the Loveland Police Department on August 4th around 1 a.m. local time. According to a release shared on the department's Facebook page Wednesday, August 14th. Kalisher is the CEO of Summit Source Funding LLC in the Denver area based on his LinkedIn profile. Police said in their release that a 15-year-old male told them he and two friends were playing and splashing water on each other inside the restaurant on Fall River Drive. During this interaction, an adult female was accidentally splashed with water. According to police, the teen went to the woman's table to apologize, quote, when an adult male accompanying the woman suddenly grabbed him, placed both hands around the front and back of his neck, pulled him down to the table, and threw him backward onto the floor. The male, later identified as Kalisher, and the woman left the scene before officers arrived. Of course he did, because he's a freaking coward. Local police later spoke with bystanders and looked at surveillance videos that offered different perspectives of the incident. Some witnesses identified the suspect, and authorities confirmed through local records that it was Kalisher. The Larimer County District Attorney heard the case on August 9th, and on Tuesday, August 13th, issued a no-bond warrant for Kalisher. Good. He turned himself in to Larimer County Jail at 10:33 p.m. that evening and was charged with assault in the second degree, strangulation, and child abuse, a Class 1 misdemeanor. How is child abuse only a misdemeanor? The Loveland Police Department is very appreciative of the assistance we received from the community during this investigation. This is a perfect illustration of our new vision statement. One community, one police department, one team. Authorities are still looking for witnesses who may have more information. They are encouraged to contact the Loveland Police Department tip line or Larimer County Crime Stoppers. What a douchebag. Let me see if there was anything. Let me see if there's anything newer. Oh, nope. So a week ago. So I've gone through all that. So we'll see what happens to Mr. Kalisher for his inability to control his temper. Control his temper. All right, so I'm coming up on 2 hours. So I'm actually not going to get to 2 of the stories I wanted to, but we are going to end on a good story. We are going to end on a good story. Hey, Sunnyside, how are you? So this one I saw, and so this is going to be the good story to end with for the night. Texas man gets heart transplant from teen who died from fentanyl overdose. And I thought this was interesting. I didn't realize they could use organs after such drug use, but apparently they can, which is pretty cool because this man has a second chance at life, you know, sadly, because this kid died.
That is the sound of the first few beats of Chance Stovall's heart inside Jay De La Garza's body.
I call Chance my hero.
Chance was a typical 17-year-old in
Oh my gosh, and he was only 17. I mean, any death is bad. I thought he was in his like early to mid 20s. He was only 17.
Northeast of Dallas.
Outgoing, he played sports, would friend anyone, great person.
But in February, Chance met someone through work who offered him a pill.
What he thought was a Percocet, but instead it was laced with fentanyl, and it cost him his life. My whole world got turned upside down.
At that very moment, Jay De La Garza of Buda was in the hospital, where he'd been waiting more than a month for a heart transplant following a heart attack.
It was a trying time.
But on February 3rd, he learned doctors had finally found a match.
And February 4th.
And I hadn't realized, let me just see this. I just saw this today. August 21st is when this video was posted. So just over a week ago, but this was back in February. Oh, and it restarted. I'm sorry. I don't know why it does that. There we go.
It was a trying time.
But on February 3rd, he learned doctors had finally found a match.
And February 4th, that's when the transplant occurred.
It was a success, but Jay wanted to know who the person was who gave him a second chance at life. So he and his wife wrote a letter that was passed on to Chance's mom, Kelly Stovall, and her husband, expressing their gratitude.
It was just amazing and thankful because you never know if you were going to get those letters.
The Stovalls wrote back, and Jay learned more about the young man whose heart now beats inside of him.
When we received their letters, it was very emotional. It hit me pretty hard because he was so young. He had a full life ahead of him.
After writing back and forth, the two families decided they wanted to meet, so they set a date to have dinner.
We were all nervous.
We didn't know what to expect.
But as soon as we sat down after that initial hug to go to the table,
We just started talking like we had known each other for years.
For Jay, that connection also leading to a commitment.
Bringing awareness to fentanyl. I feel like I need to take on this. I don't want to see other families go through what the Stovall's went through.
So he connected with the nonprofit A Change for Cam, founded by Becky White, whose 19-year-old son died from fentanyl. So Jay and his wife drove to South Austin last weekend, where a new billboard was unveiled showing the faces of those who've died.
They had beautiful shirts with Chance's heartbeat printed on them, and I just started bawling as I'm walking towards him and hugged him and hugged him and hugged him and hugged him. I felt Chance's hugs too.
And Jay says this is just the beginning.
This is a fight that we plan to continue.
Chance had to lose his life so that Jay could have life. And for him to be there supporting a cause that filled his heart donor, complete selfless act.
Do you ever get emotional just when you have a moment to yourself and you feel that heart beating in there?
Absolutely. I really feel that it's Chance's heart that's giving me those emotions.
Y'all are family now, for sure.
Yes, sir. I'm just so thankful, and I just love him so much.
Such a good story. Such a good story. And, you know, I agree, Lisa, the organ donation stories always get me on TikTok. They have a lot of them are shorts where they have the gosh, what do they call it? Like the last walk or something like that, where they have the family and, you know, the hospital staff like in the hall, and they go through, and, you know, the people are donating organs for whatever reason. And I mean, they're so emotional, but I can't stop watching them. I can't stop watching them because it's so, you know, it's bittersweet. It's, you know, a tragedy had to occur in order for, you know, something amazing to happen. So I don't remember. I'm trying to think what they're called, and now I don't remember. But several years ago, gosh, I don't even know. It's had to have been 6 or 7 years ago now. A good friend of mine, it was the day after school had ended, and she rode her bike all the time, same route, everything. And for some reason on this day, she hit a divot or some type of ridge in the pavement, and she fell off her bike. She was wearing her helmet, but she hit her head in a way that she did not make it. And she was an organ donor. And I remember when the organ donation organization sent a letter to her best friend, who was her power of attorney at the time, and 6 people got organs that they needed to live. So it was, you know, it's bittersweet, but at the same time, 6 people were able to continue living because of her selfless act. So yeah, it was not expected. It was not expected at all. And same thing with my cousin. My cousin was 26. She was at work, and she had been saying she had shoulder pain for a few days, but she was a waitress, so, you know, thought nothing of it. You know, carrying the tray, things like that. Well, one day at work, she said her shoulder was really hurting, and she ended up passing out. She was rushed to the ER, and she never woke up again. Turns out she had a blood clot, and that's why her shoulder was hurting. So she was also an organ donor. I don't know, though, how many organs my cousin donated, but I'm an organ donor as well. I always, you know, hopefully I've, you know, kept a pretty healthy life. Well, you know what? Sinner, just block that person, please. I tried to, but you got them before I could. Oh, wait, I can do it right here. All right, they went bye-bye. They went bye-bye. Honor walk. That's what it is. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. When someone on life support with no chance of recovery is wheeled to OR to have organs harvested. Yes. And they're shorts. I think they're on Facebook too. I'm sure they're everywhere, but I always see them on TikTok and then I just keep watching them because it's just, you know, I don't know why I want to make myself so emotional, but it's just such a happy yet sad moment. Yeah, honor walk. Thank you. I couldn't think of the right word. All right, everyone. Well, I am at my 2 hours and we actually got through quite a few stories and I'm definitely, Lisa, I didn't forget about the email. I will send you that CNN link. And I'm really curious more about the ice caves. The ice caves, because I honestly didn't even know it was a thing until I saw this story about the ice cave collapsing. And I wonder how often they collapse. Like, are there other ice caves that they don't use for tours that have collapsed? It's just very interesting to me. All right, everyone. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. And tomorrow I will be live at 4:30 Eastern. I don't plan on having, you know, anything occur tomorrow. So tomorrow I will be talking about Bullhorn Betty because, man, she just doesn't know when to close her mouth. So I will be, that live again is tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern time. And if I don't see you all on these YouTube streets, I will see you all on the flip side.